Hey guys, it's June 17th, 2022. I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop, and we're going to start off by saying a huge thank you to everyone who bid on our eBay auctions to benefit the Uvalde school, and we sent a check for $15,000 to the Robb School Memorial Fund earlier this week. So thank you so much for helping us get to that amount. That's totally awesome, and I can't wait to see. Now, some people like to be anonymous, so I'm not going to say the names of the people who bid, but I was hoping that maybe if you wanted your name to be said, you could like show your quilt, show it on social media, and then we can share it here. I haven't gotten in touch with everybody who won to see if they want their name said or not. But thank you even for the people who didn't win, even for the people that just bid. That's so awesome. We do try to really make a difference. Today I have a lot of quilts to show you, lots of progress. The one thing I wanted to say up front was with Great Granny, that quilt along, sew along, crochet along, I don't have any progress because I'm going to take that on a quilt retreat with me. And so I have everything cut. And when I get back from that retreat, I'll have like a big video to show you how much I got done in a week. So I know some of you are wanting to see my progress, but I haven't done a thing. And that's just because I'm holding it because I want to really do all of that all at once. So that's why you won't see progress on that today. And we have lots of new quilt kits, lots of new notions, lots of new fabrics. So make sure you check out the What's New page. The other thing I did want to say up front is we have a huge pattern sale right now with over 1,000 patterns on sale, and you're going to want to check that out because most of the ones that I put on sale are not going to be reordered. So, and I've made this one, but we just picked an assortment of ones we have. And just so you know, we have it on sale. It's only paper patterns that are on sale, not PDFs. And just older patterns or patterns that we have too much of, we're trying to clear out all our patterns. So make sure you check that out. And then I'm excited to show you, we have a prototype of the 2023 Be in My Bonnet Planner by Lori Holt. So it's pink and it's totally awesome. So this is just a prototype box, and it's the same exact size as last year, so you could stack the boxes on top of each other. The front is silver embossed, and it's the same as last year. We just changed the year, and I was going to show you just a couple of the changes because I know a lot of you bought this last year, so you kind of already know about it. Now this year we did print 33% less. That sounds like the accountant and me doing my little math in my head, but we did print less, so we're hoping to sell out of these by January 1st. So this is a 2023 planner, and so you've got an overview of 2023 and 2024, and we have planning your year, special dates to remember. And then here what Lori did is people had requested bigger spaces to write in. So she took out a lot of the white space at the top and the bottom so that you have more room here. And then on these pages, she also took some of the white space out. So you have a little bit more space between the lines if you have bigger handwriting. And so there are 12 months of tabbed monthly planner pages, 12 months of weekly planner pages, and then at the end of each month, there's also notes here, and then there's a big notes section back here, and they're actually colored similar to the tabs. So we're using the same exact paper we did last year. We're hoping these come in August. It might be September just because right now there's a huge paper shortage. And we're just working through that with our printer and with the people who deliver paper here. It's kind of a huge deal, and we're trying to deliver everything on time, but if there's no paper to print on, then we're kind of stuck. So we did this super early considering that we had the paper shortage. So really fun. I can't wait to fill mine out. I'm probably not going to start filling it out until like September. And Lori will also do videos on this as she gets closer. We probably won't focus on it until we get a little bit, look, I was trying to get that off and it's part of the table. We'll do it closer. We just are starting this process about 2 months earlier than we did last year, but that's because we know there's a paper shortage. So super excited about it. Very similar to last year, just a little bit more space in the writing, and she did change the colors slightly. So that's the first thing I get to show you today, which I can't tell you how excited I was when that came in. The next thing I wanted to show you was a pop-up image of the Boo Crew Mystery Quilt Along. So I didn't trust myself to put the quilt on the table. And we've talked about this before, but I wanted to let you know that now we have set our dates, and we're gonna have this sew along from July 5th to July 26th. We will release a video tutorial on our YouTube channel, and there will be a free pattern on Fat Quarter Shop. So this is a completely free sew along. We do it every year. This is like our 3rd or 4th year doing it. Now this year we do have a quilt kit. The quilt kits, if you pre-ordered, will be shipping starting next Friday, June 24th. And if your credit card goes through, it'll ship that day. If it doesn't, it'll ship after that. Now, we have sold 80% of our kits. So if you want a kit, I would get it now. I do think they are going to sell out before it starts. We do have all the information on the blog. And I did want to show you that we put this online also. These are the fabric requirements. So we know that not everybody wants to use the fabric we picked, and we love that every year people change the colors, use fabric in their stash, you know, make it totally unique to them. So this is your fabric requirement. So you could kind of figure out what you want to switch out, or you could just use scraps. I think the main thing is to know how much background and border you need. And I filmed the videos. It's a very, I would say, easy to intermediate quilt. It uses a lot of corner squares, a lot of flying geese, things like that that are easy to do, especially if you're a beginner, and if you want to use the glue to help it stay in place, that is also helpful. So we're excited that now we have dates. The quilt kit does not have the pattern, just so you know, because the pattern comes out for free on our site, and it finishes at 33 inches square. And I am using the purple fabric. I've already made the quilt. The quilt, I made it back in like March or April is when we filmed it. So in the cross stitch, I'm using gray, but in the quilt, I'm using purple. And if you want to know about our cross stitch, we talked about that this Wednesday on our Fat Quarter Shop Floss Tube channel. So if you haven't joined there as a member or as a subscriber, you could totally do that. The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is, about a week ago, I saw that Camille from Thimble Blossoms decided to do a summer swoon along. So she has 5 total swoon patterns, and she thought it would be fun since her brand new fabric collection came out, Nantucket Summer. It's just now shipping. We don't have it online yet, but it's shipping this month. So she thought it would be fun to do a swoon sew along, and then a lot of people, you can use either her fabrics from previous collections, or you can do whatever. So it's just basically a fun sew along that's not, it's not so planned by the week. It starts July 1st and it ends August 15th, and she is just encouraging you to make any of the swoon in any variation in any fabric. So what I thought I would do is, I have 2 options for myself. I'm going to show you the first one. Now I have not decided what I'm going to do. So you guys can like put comments. I do read all of the comments. You can put comments in the video when it's over. But one thing I wanted to show you, now this is showing funny, but this is the 20708-36 that I love. So my first option I'm going to show you is doing the Swoon Mini, and the paper patterns just came back in stock, and we also have all of these as PDF patterns also. So all of these we should have paper and PDF. But my first option was to do the Swoon Mini using Nantucket Summer. Now right here, these are scraps that we have that we use to scan. So I've already starched them. I'm gonna take this to the retreat and then decide what I'm going to do. So this is Nantucket Summer. And this image that you see that's printed out is, I texted Camille and said, do you think you could color the quilt for me? So she colored it. So I was going to just follow hers, like follow her layout. Now she did, if you follow her on Instagram, she put a lot of pictures on there of just different ideas of what you could do to give you some inspiration. Now I know a lot of you have made plenty of Swoon quilts, but it's definitely probably the most well-known quilt pattern out there. But I starched these and they're so nice and crisp. It's like they're book pages. So yeah, what I was gonna do, this is option one. Now I could do both, but this is option one. Now, like I said, this white is not in stock yet. So if the white doesn't come in by the time I go to my retreat, which is in like 2 weeks or a week and a half, I'm gonna use my bolt of 20708-36 because I think it matches. Now obviously that looks funny, but in real life, it's very similar. So this is option one, and I would make it mini, and then I would do something fun on the back. So I'm gonna move this out while I get ready for option two. I'm trying to get to the point where it tells me who made what. Okay, so this is the quilt kit that we're cutting at Fat Quarter Shop. Now, Camille, on the, not the most recent, but when this bucket of fabric came out, she colored this quilt exactly like this, and it was on the cover of the Moda catalog. And I thought it was so cool, so we're kitting it. So hopefully this kit will come in stock before I go on my retreat. If it does, I might make it. I could probably make this in 6 hours top. This is so easy. So I just wanted to show you this. Now, I don't know when the quilts are gonna come in stock. Obviously, we're waiting on the fabric. And this fabric, just so you know, is the 2022 Designer Mystery. Now that is sold out, but if we have like some people that don't pay, we'll add a couple of spots, but it would be very few. So this is my second option. I might make both. We'll kind of see how it goes. Carrie did make this one, and Gina Tell quilted it, and this is about 1 inch wide or so for scale. So yeah, so this is option two. So you guys can comment and let me know, should I make option one, option two, or both? Because you know I got a lot of energy, so I can just do it all. So let me know what you think. So that's an upcoming sew along, and I didn't know anything about it until about a week ago. So I'll show you that. And like I said, the Great Granny, how big is that Swoon quilt? "72 inches square." So another sew along we've already kind of talked about. I'm going to show a little pop-up of the dates so that you can kind of remember. We came out with 6-inch and 12-inch snail trail paper, And of course, whenever we come out with paper like this, we like to support it and give you ideas on how to use it, because really, if you buy the paper and you don't know what to turn it into, you know, people might they might just buy the paper and then it just sit there, which is not what we're trying to do. We really want you to use the paper and make something beautiful. So I love the brand new the fabric collection. Let's see, this is buttercream, I'm trying to find it, buttercup and slate and coriander seeds. So this the colored fabric is buttercup and slate, and then the background is coriander seeds. Now both layer cakes are not in stock yet, but we're hoping they come in stock really soon. But I wanted to kind of show you, I showed you the dates and then show you what I've done so far, and then I have a tip for you. So I showed you some, well, let me just show you my new blocks. So I've done about half of the blocks, not all of them, about half. So if you see any mistakes like y'all did last time, just let me know, because I was having a little bit of difficulty with it. Now another thing I wanted to show you is, or tell you, is on the coriander seeds, there are a bunch of different colors. Now there's one that has some font that's very thick and fat. I did not use that background because I felt like it was just a little too busy, and I felt like on this pattern it might take away from the prints. So I did forget to tell you guys that last time. So I have about half of the blocks made. So that's really awesome. That hopefully I don't have any mistakes in these. Now one thing I did do, and I can't remember if I showed you guys last time, is I put one of my Sweetwater labels in here, and I'm hoping that when I make my quilt, I'll probably put it like right in part of this block so it's on the front, and then on the back I can just put a big piece on the back and I don't have to worry about it. So these are really fun. Hopefully there's no mistakes. If there are, I'm sure you guys will let me know. I tried to fix the other ones, but I actually wasn't able to, so I just threw them away. I got frustrated and said, forget this. Now I wanted to show you a tip. When I was making these, I was following this as I sewed because I was having a hard time seeing on the paper. Now you can tell the paper is dark enough. It's just when you get right by a sewing machine and there's no light, it's hard to see. And I really have horrible lighting in my sewing room. So an idea that Teresa came up with was, if I highlighted all the colors that are dark, like 1, 4, 5, 6, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, when I'm sewing, you can tell which is dark. So that's a little hint, and that might help you make it to where it's easier. And then what I do is I take a 6.5 inch square and just plop it on here and then just cut around the square. And it's right here, but that's what I do instead of like cutting. So I'm hoping to have this one done after my retreat. I might be able to get this done before I go to retreat. So, but next time you see me, it should be mostly done. And hopefully, even though I have like 3 blocks that had mistakes, I'm hoping I have leftover fabric. If I don't, there was a collection a couple of years ago called Pepper and Flax, and I have some scraps of that. I think I have like a layer cake of it actually that I pull from time to time. So if I need to, I'll pull from that to replace what I made mistakes on. So that's Snail Trail. And I don't remember if I showed you this last time, so I just thought I would show you. This is a background from the collection. It's not out yet, but this is the background I'm using. These are the cornerstones. So right here are these cornerstones. I'm going to use this binding, and I think I'm going to just leave it on the straight. I don't think I'm going to do bias or anything. And then, like I said, on the backing, this collection has it's not a 108, it's like a 60 or something like that. And so I can just put this on the back without having to piece in a label. So I starched this already. And you can tell it's starched because it's like crispy. But I haven't even ironed it or anything. I basically, I went through a couple of weekends of just starching a bunch of stuff and then just kind of not even ironing it. But that's what I'm hoping to do, is put this on the back and have my label right here. So, oh, it says top block has a mistake. Okay, let's see. Which Swoon patterns are the easiest? Well, the easiest is the Swoon 16. No. Let me see the patterns and let me see. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna just click these, put these up here, and then you guys can tell me if you see a mistake. They're looking okay to me. So it's interesting because even if I develop the paper, I still sometimes, this is just a really hard block. This has never been an easy block. So even with paper, it's hard. But at least with the paper, you're able to achieve accurate results without. So we'll see. I'll go through these later. Okay, for the Swoon, let's see. I'm going to tell you, okay, let me talk a little bit about each pattern. So the original Swoon uses 18 fat quarters, and this pattern was so popular when it first came out, and so many people, so many designers tried to copy it or replicate it or just, you know, take the thunder away from it, but it was able to stand on its own. I would say it's intermediate. The Swoon Mini, I would say, is hard because it's small pieces. It's the same exact block, and it's, I don't know if it's cut in half. Let's see. Okay, so this is a 24-inch block, and this is an 8-inch block. So it's cut into like 2/3. And this is 8 fat eighths. So 18 fat quarters, 8 fat eighths. Patchwork Swoon uses jelly roll, and this is probably the one that I wouldn't do because this would take a lot of time with color placement, and I get too frustrated with that. The last snail trail block is bigger just because it hasn't been trimmed down, because we wanted to show you on the paper where to highlight. Swoon 16 uses 16 fat quarters. And this has a 16-inch block. And then the easiest is Simply Swoon, and this is a yardage pattern. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make the big version. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make this one, and I'm hoping I have enough time to make this one. This one is 72-inch. Well, you can make a 42-inch or a 72-inch. So I could even make the 42-inch. And I love that she gives this option here of the darker background. And you can see kind of how her fabric colors have changed. She's going more into the like shabby, chic-ish blue collections. So let me know. Those are kind of my sew-alongs for now. Obviously the Granny Squared, I will have more progress soon. But if you have any questions on any of the sew-alongs, let me know. I wanted to talk about the Sew Sampler box for a little bit. There's nothing in it, so I can't tease it. That's why they don't put anything in it, so I can't show you. So I wanted to let you know we have had kind of, you know, a very long, tedious year with, or 2 years with COVID and everything going on. And the June Sew Sampler is going to ship out on time at the end of the month. So, first time in a long time that it's on time, so we're so proud of that. And we wanted to let you know that we opened some spots, and this will probably be the first time we've had open spots in months. So we're gonna be on time and we have open spots. So I just wanted to tell you guys, because that'll make you happy, that we are back on track in some way. But I wanted to let you know that each year in here we have a pattern series. So I wanted to show you the quilt that I finished using last year's pattern series. Okay, and then I'll put it on the table and talk about the pattern series, because the pattern series is kind of my favorite part of the Sew Sampler subscription. So last year the quilt was called Brightside. It was designed by Sherry McConnell of Sherry and Chelsea, and we talked a lot about it a while ago. But just as a refresher, I made the blocks and I used the Vanessa Gertson fabric, Christmas Morning. And then what I did is I did a completely different setting, and the pattern is called Strawberry Picking. So I just took all the patterns from my boxes, put it in a different setting, and I got it quilted. So I know I showed you as I kind of went along, but I'm excited that it's back. And Gina Tell quilted this one with like a Baptist fan. I think she has a couple of Baptist fans she uses, so I'm not sure exactly which one this one is. But I did want to show you this because I didn't get, now I can show you because the box has ended. But I do want to show you, like I did last year, what we're going to be doing for this year. So remember, last year's was designed by Sherry McConnell, Moda Fabrics. And last year I changed up my placement of fabric to be different. Now this year Moda sponsored the cards, and we're calling this one Bliss Quilt Cards, and it started in April. So April and March just shipped out, and I'm gonna be, there's a quilt kit. The quilt kit obviously doesn't come in the Sew Sampler box, but what we did is you guys had requested a cover for binders, and this is just a plain binder from, and I covered up the fabric requirement or the cutting. But you can just buy plastic sleeves and then a little binder from Amazon, and then put your cards in there, and I just covered up the cutting just so you can see how pretty the cards are. And we put a ton of time into this. Now I did want to point out a couple of things. This quilt was designed by Joanna of Fig Tree Quilts, and block 1 was in the April Sew Sampler box. Block 2 was in the May Sew Sampler box. We colored this, or she colored this, in the Stitched collection. I'm also using the Stitched collection as part of Moda Blockheads that I'm going to show you in a little bit. And I just wanted to show you my blocks and show you that even if you're sewing at home, you can change it up. We wrote this where you press to one side, but I wanted to show you when I made the blocks, I just pressed open because to me it worked better. So always keep that in mind when you're looking at a pattern or whatever you're working on. Do whatever feels best for you at that moment. And the fabric requirements for this quilt are on our blog or on social media. They are definitely posted somewhere. We'll have to answer in the comments. I'm sure they're on social media. And then the paper, there are paper instructions for the Snail Trail quilt. It's completely free. Just search on Fat Quarter Shop. The paper is not free, but the pattern layout is. So this is what you can look forward to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using, anytime I can, I will use triangle paper. On these, just as an example, I make this unit bigger, trim down. Here I use the seam align glue, trim off, and then pressing open really helps these points. And I will be showing you throughout the year just the blocks. And I don't think I'll make any changes. I really love the layout. Now the layout in the March 2023 box, you will get the finishing instructions for this. And I'm gonna, this year I'm not making any changes to fabric or finishing or anything. I kind of alternate, and some years I keep it the same, some years I don't, and that's just based on kind of what I feel like at the moment. So I hope you're loving these blocks. I have seen several of you make them on social media, so that's a lot of fun. So my next sew along, because you know I have so many, I don't even know how I keep up with this stuff. So I wanted to show you branching out. This sew along started at the beginning of 2023, hosted by Moda Fabrics, and I'm going to show you the blocks. And then I'm going to talk through what I'm doing. So the block design here is free. It's on Moda Fabrics blog. It's also linked on Susan Aki, who's the designer, and Moda Fabrics Instagram. They link to their blog post on it. It started in January, so if you're looking for it, kind of look there. Now what we did is we made the 6.5 inch finished blocks. So this pattern will not work with the larger blocks. I mean, it would if you adjust your sizes. But we put together this free pattern. It's on Fat Quarter Shop. It's called Kimberly's Branching Out Quilt Setting. And I have put all of the blocks together. So I made a total of 52. But I want to point out a couple of things about it. When I made these blocks, I made everything, and I did demo that in early 2022, so about 6 months ago. I made these bigger and trimmed down. So you're gonna notice these don't line up right here, and that's okay. I didn't need them to. But I did not want to do the setting that they had designed because it was just all on point. So this quilt is on point, but the center, I'm going to show you in a second, is not on point. The center is actually rectangular or square, and then we add to it. Yeah, it's square. So I'll show you that in a second. And I believe Jocelyn designed this one for me. I might have designed it, who knows? I don't even remember. So these are all, I used, let's see, 52 different greens. I used the same brown on all and the same background. So here's kind of the first set, and I have them divided just because this set doesn't have the same fabrics as the next set. So there's that, and then I got all of these done. And we're going to put these on a design board to look at placement before sewing it together. So you can see sometimes it lines up, sometimes it doesn't. To me, when it's quilted, you're not gonna know. But I knew that by trimming down that was going to happen. And it probably would go better if I would have pressed this whole thing open. It probably would lay better, but you can see right here I'm totally off. But nobody's gonna know because once it's quilted, you're not gonna notice. And that's kind of odd for me to, and then this one got a little wrinkled. Calvin got squished in my car. So I have my blocks done. That was pretty easy to put the blocks together. And then what I did, and you might have seen this photo on social media, is I made all of the cornerstone units. So you can use the, I used one of the Flying Geese papers for this. So it's the 1 by 2 inch finished Flying Geese paper. And I made all of the cornerstones. And then what I did is I've cut the sashing and the corner triangles, and I'm going to talk through a little bit about that. So I want to show you in this pattern a little bit I'm just not a fan of on point. So right here, when you're piecing this, you're piecing in rows. So that's great because you're not adding the on point. And then when you get here, what you're supposed to do is add your side corners, and then the fabric H's that are corners you're supposed to do very last. What I did is all of these are cut 1 inch bigger. Now I had to buy more fabric than the fabric requirements, but it's 1 inch bigger. And if you guys want, I can, once it's pieced, bring it on camera, show you how to use a friction pin to go around the outside before you trim it down to get an accurate square quilt, and a non-wavy. Because if you don't make these bigger and you don't trim down, this is how my quilt would look. And I'm not even kidding, because I don't do great about that. So if you have any questions on branching out, let me know. But like I said, this is a free pattern. The block pattern is also free. The block designer is Susan Aki, and I just wanted to do something different than their layout. So I did, and we're giving it to you free so that you don't have to pay for it. And so I'm thinking next time, this will probably get done before I go to retreat. So I can probably, the next time I have a live stream, show you how to get the best results on the edge of an on point. Okay, so the next sew along is the Moda Blockheads. And like I said, with Moda Blockheads, anytime I'm doing a sew along, I don't always finish it the way that people design. And that's just because I like to do my own thing. And this year's Moda Blockheads has 2 sizes, 9 inch finished and 4.5 inch finished. So I didn't want to make them all one size. So I'm doing a mix of large and small, and this is a free pattern on Moda site, and this layout is a free pattern on Fat Quarter Shop. Now, they've released 13 blocks, and I'm going to show you what I've done so far. Now this is just, I'm placing them all random. I'm behind 2 blocks. You'll notice 2 of the blocks aren't done. My goal is, for the first time in about 3 months, my sons don't have basketball this weekend. So I'm hoping tomorrow to make about 6 blocks. So this is like the second row, and then this one it doesn't go in a block. But you can see how this is like a big block, a small block, an accent fabric, and 2 small blocks. And then what you do is you rotate it. So you're going to see that on the next part. And this is the stitched collection, the same collection used on the Sew Sampler. So this is row 1, and I will pull it over to show you. So hopefully I have them going the right way. So this is like block 1, and then block 2, and then you just rotate it. So this one I did change a little bit, and I think this is going to look really nice. Now I have not exactly picked my inner and outer borders. I kind of have an idea because I do think this accent fabric would look really nice on the outer border, but it might become too busy. So my goal was to get half of it done, or actually just 2 rows, and then start laying out some fabric and seeing what looks best. So that is, and this one I'm kind of like, I probably made this one day and wanted to press open. And then I got over here and said, oh, I don't have enough time to press open. And then I went back to pressing open. So this quilt is just, I kind of do things however I feel like. And this needle that I use, I just use an 80-12 universal. That's what I use. And the brown fabric that I used is this fabric right here. The brown fabric in the branching out is this text print from Stitched. I don't know the SKU number, but there's that. So those are kind of where I'm at with sew-alongs. Let's see how I press these. Yeah, it just depends what kind of mood I'm in. I got a couple of quilts back from Gina. So Gina quilted all of these that you're about to see. And this right here is from the Oh Say Can You Sew free sew-along that Lisa Bonjean's having. Now I think when it comes out it's free, but then when they get to the next month you have to pay for the pattern. But when I did this, I printed them out. They were free for me. Now this quilt that she's doing has like 5 or 6 clues, and I was feeling overwhelmed, and so I just made mine smaller. I just used the first 3. There was no way I was going to be able to make a quilt that big, and I really wanted something that would fit on a coffee table. And Gina did kind of a new quilting here. It's a wave. So this is the front, and what I did is I just made the first block that she did. I made it 9 times, and then right here these are cut 2 inches, so they finish at 1.5, and I just put together, I just kind of randomly did it. Now I would have loved to have, there you can see the quilting better. I would have loved to have it looks 3D. I would have loved to have made the quilt, but I just don't have that much time. And this fabric is the Flower Farm fabric collection. And then this one I just did one of the Sweetwater labels, added a border, and then put it on. So I got that one finished. The next one that I got back from my quilter is the 1 Hour Jolly Bar Table Runner. Now this was a video that came out in April, and I tried a different video style that day, and y'all guys did not like it. So I heard you. Y'all hated it. I heard you. I read all the comments, so we won't do that again. But I will tell you that that day or that week, I was, you know, I don't always have a great week. Things are not always great. I come on the camera and they seem great, but my life is not perfect, and I really just needed a week where I didn't have to talk. So that's what I did that week. I won't do it again because I know y'all don't like it. But this is a free pattern. It's called the 1 Hour Jolly Bar pattern. So we know that a lot of you have the Jolly Bars, and if you want something to do on a weekend, super easy. I can't wait to put this one out in my house. So I'm hoping I can take this one home. And then Gina did a really small, this is a Baptist fan, but it's different than the other one. The other one is more like rectangular. This one is more square. And so that's the front. And then on the back is, I guess I could show it this way. I just added to the outside of my label. So those 2 came back from the quilter. Actually, more than that came back from the quilter. And a lot of these things we're showing you are free patterns. Not all of them, but a lot of them are, because we like to give back, not only to charity, but also to our customers. Now, we do have a members only video that we did in April where we took my boxes of scraps, kind of sewed them together, added some triangle paper, and just made something totally scrappy. And so that was a members only video if you want access to that pattern. And then I just sent it to Gina. So I just added some sashing. This is my 20708-36, which is my favorite white bolt, which I showed you earlier. And then on the back, we just did a label where we put it on top of the fabric and sewed it down. And so you can see this is also quilted by Gina. I'm not sure, I think it's like a little rainbow. And this would look really cute. There's lots of options you could do with this. You could go arrows up, arrows down, arrows up, arrows down. You could even put some on the border. This was the member video for April. And then the member video for this month is a Star Spangled Pillow. So on this one, if you are a member of the YouTube channel, we have this free video for you. And there is, if you go to the community tab, there is a coupon in there that lasts until Monday at midnight. So if you are a member, go check out that coupon. And then also on our YouTube channel, earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, we released this video, and I love it. And I love all the comments that you guys have put, because this is one of my favorite videos we've ever released. I am going to make it in something, I'm not sure what, but it basically uses a layer cake or 2 layer cakes, like one print and one background. And you, if you watch that video, it's really cool because you cut, you trim down, it kind of comes out perfectly. Really fun, totally different. Haven't seen anything out there like it. Love it. It's one of my favorites. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. But the one thing that I do really like about it is I like when you don't have any waste in fabric, but I also like when the fabric can shine. And you can see those are really big pieces and the fabric just really shows. So if you have a layer cake that you love and you just haven't made, it's a completely free video, and it also has different size options. So that's awesome. And then in addition to all of that, this week we did a blog post where last Monday was National Sewing Machine Day. So Kate came up with this awesome sewing machine cover tutorial. It's all on her blog. Now she took one block from the Farm Girl Vintage book, one block from the Farm Girl Vintage 2 book. So these are 12-inch blocks, so you could use it with any 12-inch block. And then you go to the blog and it gives you instructions on how to do all of this. So Kate did all of this, and she quilted it herself using, I think this is about a 1/2-inch crosshatch. And then on the back, this is how the back looks. And the way it looks on your sewing machine is you would put it like this. So you would put your sewing machine under here. And so it's really cool because you can do front, and then you can change it and it can be back. So, and you can use whatever your favorite block is. So this is completely free on our blog. Our blog is called The Jolly Jabber. And this is Lori Holt fabric also. Now also on our Instagram channel, we started adding reels. We're kind of new at it, so we don't have like a ton, but we did a really cute tutorial on Instagram on how to add a pocket to a white t-shirt. So we use some Seashore Drive fabric, and it's kind of fun because you actually have a double pocket. So there's that. And then I have a couple of announcements to show you. So next week, just so you guys know, I will be at my in-laws' house. So we will not have a video that is live, but I will be filming a video on Doug Lico's Table-tastic 3 book. It's awesome. I've seen it, and they're gonna, if you buy it from us, it's gonna come as a signed copy. So you're gonna wanna check that out. I'm gonna record it next week. So, I mean, I'm recording it Wednesday, but I'm going out of town Thursday. So definitely watch, don't watch because it's not live, just definitely watch. And then the week after, I will be at a retreat, and that will be pre-recorded also. It will be the heartfelt demo, and I recorded that, and just so you know, there's a huge mistake in it, and I have to there's a total boo-boo in it. So you can watch for comedic value to see what kind of mistake I made, because it's so embarrassing that I made that mistake. And then after that, I should be back live. If I go out of town or do something, then I won't be. But I do have a life. I do have children, and they're busy. Okay, I'm going to answer all the questions we have. I still have a ton more for you guys. So I'm going to answer questions, and then we're going to take a break to reset, because we're going to try something new today to see if you like it. Priscilla's Pretty Plaids should be in stock any day. Basically, we order that anytime we get below 20 or 30 yards, we order it. Free Spirit owns Henry Glass, and they are a huge company. And because they are such a big company, they take a long time to ship. And it just takes them a long time to ship. Is there a pattern I can print for sewing machine cover instructions? Well, that one's free. You could go to the blog and follow that and put any 12-inch block you would like into it. Lori says, no worries, Kimberly. It's a lot harder being on the other end of the camera, and you're always a rock star and do the best you can, which is amazing. Oh, thank you. And that's what I tell my kids. I don't care what you do in life, but you better do the best you can do, because if you don't do the best you can do, I'm going to call you out. Whatever the best is you can do for that day, that's what you should do. We did get a question on the Jolly Bar table runner, and the collection on that is Belle Isle. Why the Liberty box didn't have the description of all the items? Because it's a mystery, and so we don't give you all of that. When will we get Scrap Happy? It has not shipped from the printer yet. We're thinking the very last week of July. And again, paper shortage. We ordered those I then sent that to the printer in February. It's never taken so long, but I mean, there's a paper shortage. There's nothing I can do. I can't just be like, oh my God, my name is Kimberly Jolly. I need those books. That's not how life works. I know you guys probably think I can just snap my fingers and get whatever I want. That's not how it works. So, and we've used the same printer ever since we started at Sew Emma. We're not going to leave that printer just because there's paper shortages. That's not how it works. We are really sorry it's taking so long. I'm just being totally honest. It's just there's a paper shortage, so we have to wait until we can get it. What fat eighth bundle would work for the Moda Blockheads free pattern? Anything you like. I would say anything that you love, anything you're inspired by. With that, there are a lot of big pieces and small pieces, so I would recommend a a background that is a background with no busyness to it, so that your blocks can, your little pieces can stand out. Do I know when Lori's chunky thread will be in stock? Okay, I do. So we got a huge shipment, sold out. We're going to get another one in 2 weeks, and then we're going to get another one in July. Tula Pink Tiny Beast. I see questions and pre-orders shipping today, and I'm going to actually show you those fabrics at the very end. They actually arrived yesterday, late last night. We were literally unboxing them. So we're unboxing them last night, and we're shipping them today. Is there a 108-inch backing that will match the new block of the month with the Nantucket Summer? I think that she has some new 108s. I think she has a gray, a white, and a blue that are just floral. Heejan Kim, are open seams required when quilting long arm? I'm a cancer patient, a little bad, so now I don't do hand quilting. I now search for long armor in Korea. Okay, so every long armor is different. I had a long armor that I used for years, and then when I started pressing open, she said she wouldn't do my quilts anymore because she didn't think that the seams were strong enough, and she was afraid it would bust open, and then I would blame her. So I think it just depends who your long armor is. So I would just ask them. The 6384 Coral, we will be getting that in 2 weeks. I actually looked at that right before we came online. I have a ton on order. It has not shipped as of last night, but I would think within 10 days. Can you take pictures of your retreat progress? Love the projects you complete. Yes, I can try to remember. One thing about me that you guys probably don't know is I don't really do social media. I read Reddit. I love Reddit because I can look at dog pictures. There are days, weeks that I don't get on Facebook. I take pictures of my kids, but I really don't take pictures of my life. And so if I'm just sitting there sewing, I don't naturally think, oh my gosh, take a photo. So I'm going to try to remember, and Lori will probably text me to remind me because she always remembers everything. She's got a steel trap memory. I can't remember anything. Lori can remember everything, but I will try to take some pictures. And I'm just going to a random retreat with one lady I know, and I just told her hey, I just want to go. I don't want people asking me oh my God, you're Kimberly Jolly. I just want to sit. I don't want people to ask me about my personal life, about my work. I just want to go and have time with just to like sew. And then I did tell her, I said, but there's this lady I watch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at night, and she's crazy and I have to watch her. So for 3 hours, I'm going to have my headphones on because I have to watch this lady, because if I miss, I'd just be so devastated. When will we be getting in more short sleeve V-neck t-shirts for stitching with the housewives? They should be in stock. I guess email Denise at Fat Quarter Shop if they're not. Can anyone give suggestions on how to make a square quilt into rectangle without it looking off? What you could do is just add one more row to the bottom. Could a layer cake be used for any of the Swoon patterns? I think you could maybe use it for the Swoon mini, but I'm not sure. That's what I'm going to be trying to do. Nantucket is shipping in the next 1 to 2 weeks. How long have I had my business? 19 years as of last month. And it's aging me, can you tell? So guys, we're gonna take a break and we're going to be right back. It might take a little bit. We're gonna be like resetting a bunch of stuff, so it might take a little bit longer than normal. Pop in any questions you have. I'm happy to answer anything that you have, and I'll be right back. Okay, so since I haven't been able to show you guys new quilt kits, I'm going to show them to you now. And we're trying something a little bit different this time, and we'll have to see in the comments what you guys think, because we do always read all of your comments and try to keep all of that in mind as we do our show. Now, I'm going to show you first these two new bags. Now, we have never really done kits like this. This is kind of our first time, so we're going to kind of see what kind of results we get. But right here, we have the Threads That Bind project bag kits. There is a blue project bag kit and a red project bag kit. Now, this uses the new Threads That Bind collection by Blackbird Designs. And what I wanted to show you is, in the kit, you get the fabric, the zipper, the vinyl, and the soft and stable. And we use the soft and stable because we wanted our bag to not be like flimsy. You can see it doesn't flop everywhere, if that makes sense. So this is kind of cool because we haven't really done something like this. Now, this uses our Easy Whip project bag tutorial on this channel. So if you want to make a bag like this and you already have vinyl and soft and stable or even batting, you can check that out. We did use By Annie zippers for it. So this is just something I came up with a while ago. I'm not sure what you guys think of that. It does become an expensive kit because of the zipper, the vinyl, the soft and stable. But we wanted to do something a little bit different. So these are fun. And then this is the back. So that's really fun. And then what we're going to do is, on all of these quilt kits, I'm going to talk about them. And we're going to show the pop-up image first. All of these quilts you are going to see were quilted by Gina Tell of Thread Graffiti. And a huge thank you to all of my employees who quilted all of these, pieced all of these. I don't, because there are so many, I did not list who made what, but thank you to everyone. This first quilt is called Geese on the Pond. The fabric collection is Threads That Bind. It's the same fabric collection as those project bags. This is a classic and vintage pattern. So with classic and vintage, you get a free block, but if you want to turn it into a quilt, you can buy a low price PDF. So this is a quilt kit, and the kit includes the fabric for the quilt top, the binding, and the pattern. And then here you go, this one right here, you can see the quilting. So this has, I guess there's like 6 circles. So this is the first one. And then I'll show you the back. The next quilt is North Star Quilt Kit, the same collection, and you'll notice we did a lot of kits in the Blackbird collection Threads That Bind, and the reason why is it was so anticipated and we got so many questions on it, and so we just thought we're gonna come up with a lot of kits because there was so much anticipation. So this is a Jolly Bar. Now all of our Jolly Bar patterns are designed by Angel, so any of them that I'm about to show that are Jolly Bar she designed. So this uses one Jolly Bar and some different, one background, and we have a quilt kit. So you can either buy the Jolly Bar. The Jolly Bars all come with a free pattern, or you can buy the kit. So that's the full kit. Again, quilt top and binding. And then this one, let's see, it's like floral with a feather. And then this is the background. We used one background and one Jolly Bar. I'll show you the back. Now the corner, let's see, I'll show you. We put this on the back, and then this is the border right here. And the corner squares have this as the background, and then the inside star has this one. So that's the second kit. The third kit I love. It's called Garden Rose Quilt Kit. The fabric collection is Flower Pot by Layla Boutique. Flower Pot, some of the yardage bolts are already selling out. Just as an FYI, some of the florals are already selling out. The yardage came in a little bit a while ago, but some of the SKUs are selling out. This is a Jolly Bar kit. This one uses 2 Jolly Bars and 1 background, and you can either get the free pattern with the Jolly Bar or buy the kit. The kit has 2 Jolly Bars, binding fabric, and background fabric. And then this is the quilting, so it's just a big floral. And then the backing. And you'll notice one thing that I do is when I pick backings for the store, I tend to pick backgrounds that are light, because personally I prefer a light background. But don't always feel like when you buy a quilt kit from us you have to buy the backing set. The backing set is there and it'll say like 5 yards of this skew. If you don't like that skew, I've done the math for you and it says 5 yards. Pick whatever you like, because I know some people don't like the light background. I just love light backgrounds though, because I don't want them, when you're looking at it from the front, if you put black on here and there's not enough batting, you might see it. Now here you might not see it in the lighting, but you go outside in the sun, you might see it. So that is Flower Garden Rose. The next quilt is called Bordeaux. It is French General fabric using 1 Jolly Bar. It's the fabric collection is Bonheur du Jour. Everybody laughs when I say that. And then you'll notice a lot of our Jolly Bar patterns use half square triangles. The reason why is when you do half square triangles, you get the most effect of the fabric. If you use corner squares, you will have waste. So that is why a lot of our designs are geared that way, because we want you, when you get the pattern, to be able to make a quilt that's substantial enough size to make it worth it. So again, and then this one, the quilting is bigger. So the person who had this one done probably asked for like really big quilting. And then this one is a 13/5/29 fabric. I don't know the color, but French General does have a collection. It's called French General Favorites. I will tell you a lot of them are sold out until August. They sell really well, but just so you know. And then the backing. And then you can see this is, and when I'm picking, another thing to think about, okay, when you're picking a backing, the first thing I look at is what is the binding? Because if the binding is red, the backing has to have some piece of red in it to tie it. Your backing should tie to the front, and it should also stand alone. And it stands alone here because of the red, because you can always use a quilt 2-sided. If this is too busy, you can put this on the back of a chair and it just looks like a home deck quilt. You can use quilts so many different ways when you're decorating. The next quilt, we're going to actually show you 2 of them. This one is, I love this one. I wish that I would have had this pattern when my kids were little. My kids are all teenagers now. And Lord, if I get them to college, we are going to be doing good, because that's what I keep saying every day is, Lord, please, Jesus, get you to college, and please go to college far away. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, but I'm really not. This is Easy Rainbow Baby Bargello. Jocelyn designed this one. The fabric is Beyond Bella. And the Beyond Bella, just so you can see, it has little hashtags or pound signs, whatever you want to call that. If you're old like me, it's a pound sign. If you're young, like everyone in this room except me, it's a hashtag. So this one has 2 instructions. It's a video that you can watch. It's also 2 patterns, and it's free. And Jocelyn designed it. Anytime I can remember who designed something, I'm always going to say it. I don't ever mean to leave anybody out. I just happen to know she made this one. We have a quilt kit, and the quilt kit is the smaller size, which is the one in the photo, and this is the smaller one right here. And Gina did a rainbow with the heart, and it's really cute. And so this is the smaller one. And I like that this is on the backing, because you could have put a blue, but this gives you a whole nother color if you just wanted to display green. So this is a smaller one, completely free pattern. And then this one's the larger one. And so same quilting. I think Gina did the same scale of quilting even, and we did do a white binding because when you think of a quilt that has all of this on it, the second choice would have been blue. But if you would have put blue right here, you might have lost the effect of the rainbow. So sometimes when you're thinking about a binding, sometimes you want to pick something that's more of a stop color, meaning it stops the design and it doesn't interfere with the design on the inside. I hope that makes sense. But a white binding will do that for you, and it will keep the authenticity of your design over here. So that is free pattern at Fat Quarter Shop. This next pattern is called Beautiful Morning, and this uses an older pattern designed by Crystal, and it's called Morning Glory. It's an It's So Emma pattern, and the Bird Song collection by Pat Sloan is a Benartex collection, and anytime Pat Sloan comes out with a fabric collection, she asks us to color some of it up into our pattern so that people will know what to do with her fabric. So that is the quilt. It's a pretty big quilt. It's 53 by 63. And then you can see the quilting here. This is a fan with kind of a little swirl here. Now on the back of this one, there's the fabric collection. And then Nova put a band, and then she put initials NB, her sewing machine, April 2022, and then a cat. She likes cats, I guess. And she just has a, I don't know what sewing machine she has, but I noticed she's been doing this on a lot of them. Okay, this next one is Evening Primrose. The fabric collection is Midnight in the Garden by Sweet Fire Road. She is a newer designer for Moda, and I'm loving all of the designs she's coming out with because it's very different than the other designers. This is an It's So Emma pattern designed by Crystal. It's 72 inches square. So like somebody was asking, is it really square? Yeah, it is square. If you wanted to make this not square, all you would have to do is add a row, and it would make it rectangular. And then here's the quilting. Now, a couple things you can do with quilts besides what I've already talked about. I personally do not like borders that are skinny like this, but it is more popular to have a skinny border. Now, 25 years ago when I started quilting, every quilt that was out there had a 6.5 inch border. So if you ever want to make a quilt bigger, like we had in the questions, not only can you add a row, you can add a bigger border, and your side border and your top and bottom border don't always have to be the same fabric. They also don't have to be the same width. And this is actually part of the block, but it makes it look like sashing, which is really cool. And then I think I've shown you the backing. Really pretty. This next one is Just Add Shortcake. This is also a Bird Song fabric collection by Pat Sloan, and the designer of this pattern is Wendy Shepherd, and this is available as a paper pattern and as a PDF pattern. And then we'll look at the quilting on this one. This one's pretty big. And this one's just a feather. And I think Gina keeps notes, so if you ever want to know, you know, oh, I want mine quilted like this, she can always follow the video. And yeah, so this is a Pat Sloan fabric collection. Wendy Shepherd design. And the last quilt I'm going to show you today is from our April 2022 Ruby Star Society Quarterly Club. So if you are in the Ruby Star Club, you get 12 fat quarters every quarter with a free pattern. The patterns are all designed by Crystal. She loves Ruby Star. She loves designer, modern designs. And this is already shipped to customers. But we wanted to show you the quilt. So if you sign up now, they're sold out. There might be some kits left over, but the club is now sold out. But if you want to be in the club for July, you can still sign up for that. So this is April, obviously, but we can't really show you in advance. So we're trying to show you these after just so you can see what's available. And then this uses a mix of some of their calmer prints, if that makes sense. So it's got like, I can't think of the name of the collections. I had them yesterday. A pin dot, hole punch. And then here she put and Crystal did make this one, she put a wild backing on it. And so it can really stand alone because it can be wild or calm. And again, you can make it with a wider border, and even, not even only that, when you're looking at a quilt right here, and you want it bigger, if somebody came to me and just said, hold on, I'm gonna show this, okay, right here. If somebody came to me and said, I need this to be bigger, what I would do is I would do a skinnier inner border and a super wide outer border, and then that's gonna add like 8 inches. It could add more than that. So always think about, because that's a question we get so much when people call customer service or email. Borders and extra rows will give you more flexibility, I guess would be the right word. You guys had been asking about the Liberty box. We have sold 95%, so we only have 5% left. Some people on the specialty boxes wait until people do reveal videos before they purchase, just so that they make sure they like it. So if you are interested, I'm sure you could just get on YouTube and search Liberty box, and you will see everything that is in there. I did want to show you, this is an awesome needle minder, and this box does come with a lot of fabric, and thank you to everyone who has been giving us nice reviews on them. It's always nice to hear when y'all like something. But if that's just like a little, if you don't want to be surprised, don't put it in YouTube. But if you do want to know exactly what you're getting, that's how you can find out. I wanted to, and so I'm getting towards the end, so pop in any question you want me to ask. So any kind of question. This kite paper came out last week. It took us a long time to develop this. This is a Lori Holt paper, and this right here is cookbook. We are going to be having an upcoming quilt along with this in a future collection. Now, I haven't even seen that collection, so I don't even know the name of it or when it ships, but I do know we're going to be having a sew along with this. And what's great about this paper is if you use different backgrounds around, you're gonna get an awesome look. So I'm excited, and when that sew along comes out, I will obviously be participating. Now this one, we did only make 6-inch because it just didn't work great in a 12-inch. So, you know, it just, I don't know, when we were testing it, it just didn't work, and we're never going to develop a product that we think is not going to be well received. So I'm very excited about this one, and I am going to do something with this even before the sew along. Speaking of fancy that house designs, we got these little notebooks in. I love notebooks. When we go to basketball, we always pass Container Store, and I'm always like, can we stop? But we can't because we're busy. So one is blank, one has dots, so you can see the dots, and then one has graph. Is that graph paper? I'm like, wait a minute, is it graph? So those are cute. It comes as a set of 3. I thought those were cute. And then this I'm very excited about. I'm going to put this on my desk. So it's a desk calendar for 2023, and these are probably a one-time run. I'm gonna just flip through each of them. They have quotes from different authors, and the paper's really nice and thick. So I'm actually gonna do this so you can see. Maybe there, that's better. And this is Gingerbread. This is not Fancy the House Design. This one's Gingerbread. So some of these are from her panels. And when I use a desk calendar, I just put a little X on the day. So like this morning before I came up here, I was looking at fabric deliveries, and I just cross off whatever day it is. So I was crossing off yesterday's day. Because, I mean, this morning I thought it was June 20th. So I don't even know. And then here's a summary of it. But I just thought this was cute. Something different that we don't usually have. And then these came in before the fabric collection. These are a set of 2 quilt block and schoolhouse zipper pulls by Camille. I think these are going to be a one-time run. We have a lot of them, but I don't know how long they're going to last. But I'm definitely keeping these because they're going to go really good with my Swoon quilt. And then I was going to show you this. This is a Kimberly, and I haven't ever featured Kimberly on the live stream before. And she is actually a very popular designer for us. Her fabric sells really well. So I'm going to show it to you before it sells out because it's not always easy for us to reorder. And this is called Cup of Cheer. It arrived, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. And we have, this is our half yard bundle. We have fat quarter bundles, strips, squares, and then yardage, of course. And she does a lot of embroidery patterns. So if you're somebody who has like an embroidery machine, you might be familiar with her. And yeah, keep popping all those questions in. I want to have more questions rather than fewer. Since I'm not going to be live the next 2 weeks, y'all should get a little bit extra today. And this is a panel. And these would make really cute. I was looking at this thinking these would make really cute pillows. So I just wanted to feature her because we haven't featured her before. Now she has been featured in some of our specialty boxes though. And then we are getting so many questions on Tiny Beasts. Now, the pre-cuts arrived, like I said earlier, last night. So we have everything Tiny Beast online. Now, if you pre-ordered the half yard or 1 yard bundle, those shipped 2 weeks ago. If you pre-ordered the fat quarter bundles that Free Spirit puts together, those are shipping today. So there is one bundle that is just the Tiny Beast. This is Glow Fat Quarter Bundle, which is a combination of Tiny Beast and Tiny Beast coordinates. This is the Glimmer Fat Quarter Bundle, which is Tiny Beasts and coordinates. So if you want a combination of all the Tiny Beast and all the coordinates that I'm about to show you, you would buy these two. If you only want the Tiny Beast, you would buy this one. These are the tiny coordinates. No, this is Tiny Beast. Sorry, this is Tiny Beast. So these three right here are the same as this. Tiny Beast plus coordinates. It's all very complicated because, you know, Tula Pink is so prolific. She has so much stuff. And not only did they do that, they did this, which is great, where they just put together some basics. And these are the Tiny Pink, tiny coordinates, Fat Quarter Bundle, Charm Pack, and 10-inch square. So you can see it pretty good. This one's, I really like this. And then I was going to take a trip down memory lane. I'm like so honored that you guys even watch me. And I'm so honored that y'all even listen to what I say. I think when I listen to people live stream, I half listen to them. So it's amazing. A customer emailed. I don't know if she wants her name said, so I'm not going to say her name. But I had mentioned that Buttercream and Figs was the collection that I loved. And she called and she got to talk to Elva. And I bought this from her. So I just wanted to show you, this is, I don't know what year it was. It was probably 2007, 2008. Definitely not 2010. And this is one of the very first Fig Tree collection lines. And look at how the colors have changed in 12 to 15 years. So crazy. So I bought that from her, so that's just awesome. And then I was going to show you some behind the scene photos just to kind of give you a peek. So right there, what you see right there, that's where I'm sitting. So you will see there are two screens. On the top screen, that is where I have all my notes. Like I'll have the name of a quilt kit or the date it ships. And then below is a picture of me taking the picture, or you know what? I think that's Jordan taking the picture. Haha, Jordan, you made it in there. Y'all can see Jordan if y'all expand real big. He doesn't want y'all to see him, but that was Jordan taking the picture. So that's what I can see. And then all those lights. Those lights are crazy. And then the next photo is to the right of me. And that's where I used to do live streams sitting on the couch. And I might do some of those going forward. And then that's how we lay out before. So Denise does all of that. She takes all of the quilts. Each one is a different stack of something I've either quilted or brought to her. So you'll see a lot of design boards because every time I bring something to Denise, it's either in a bag or on a design board so that she can stack them. And then the last picture is to the left of me. And that is what we did is I didn't do any of it. Ashley, Denise, and Jordan did it. They layered all those quilts you saw from bottom to top. And then that's how we were able to just pull them off the table so you could actually see the quilting and we could pop up the image. So those are just some behind the scenes. And then I'm going to say thank you for all the super chats, and then I'm going to answer questions. So if you have any questions, pop them in the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to be live. So anything you have, I would ask now. Super chat from Terry Bruck. Does the sewing machine cover fit the Juki? Yes. Janet Buster, you are the best. I love your positive attitude and appreciate all you share. Oh, thank you. I was actually really excited because my daughter the other day, she had to stand up in front of a bunch of people and she was like, my mom is so positive. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Sometimes I am. And then thank you to super chats to Susanna Pastoric, Jeanne Serber, Valeria Bauer, Wendy Hansen, Janet Ridling, and then Hejon Kim says, always huge thanks to Kimberly. Thank you. I still can't believe you guys watch. So now I'm going to go through questions. I'm just going to go through one by one. What water do I use for my iron? I use tap water, but each iron is different. So I would definitely read your manual to see what it says to use. Sandy says, I had mentioned in the past about an upcoming Lori Holt project that involved using her sewing interfacing. How many packs do you need? 4. And those just came back in stock. So please order that now if you want that. And I will be working on that at retreat. I have all of that cut, starched, and ready. So I will be showing you that as a quilt retreat wrap up. Are the coordinates tiny stripes and dots? Yes. Do I ever want to design fabric? No. Favorite flying geese ruler? Eleanor Burns. Have I watched Scary People? No. I don't know what that is. Do I have a list of recommended long armor quilters in Dallas Fort Worth area? Okay, I do know of one lady. Her name is, oh my gosh, she quilts for Moda. I'm friends with her on Facebook. Lisa Alexander, please tell me if you're watching and post her name. Maggie Honeyman. That's the only one I know. What is the advantage of using foundation paper over traditional piecing? Accuracy. It will give you more accuracy. Notice I upgraded my iron to Rowenta. How do you like it? I love it. Yeah, I like it. I was wondering if I have heard anything about Pat's favorite needles. Okay. They said they were going to make more, and then now they're not. So I guess whatever they made the needle with, it was some kind of dye or like tool. They discontinued it. So there are going to be no more Pat Carson needles. And that was, okay, so Pat Carson passed away. The rights to her needles are held by Yarn Tree, which is a distributor. And so being a distributor, what they do is they buy, for example, cross stitch patterns, carry them, and then they sell them to people like me who are shops. And Pat Carson had a relationship with them, and Yarn Tree was the one making that decision. Is there a finishing kit for Rose and Bloom? Can someone tell me what Rose and Bloom is? Let me look and see what Rose and Bloom is, because off the top of my head. Okay, there was a finishing kit. It is now sold out. There will be a demo on the kite paper. I don't know when. It's probably going to be closer to the sew along. The next Jolly Bar book will be soon. It is at the printer. Will I ever go on a quilt cruise? Probably not. I'm not like a cruiser. I don't think I would do a quilt cruise. I mean, I would do it if somebody paid me like a lot of money and I could buy a fancy purse or something, but like you'd have to pay me a lot of money. Any upcoming plans for Tula Pink videos? I haven't talked to her in a while, so I'll have to talk to her, but she books 3 years out, just so you know. So last time we booked her 3 years in advance. Do I have any time frame for coriander seeds? Yes, end of June, early July. Would I recommend starching a block of the month if the first 4 blocks weren't starched? No, I would say when you do something, do it the same throughout. So if you're going to make a quilt, starch all of it, or don't starch all of it. Use the same 1/4 inch foot throughout. Use the same ruler throughout. What is a good neutral background for Mary Ann's Gifts fabrics? Email elva@fatquartershop.com and she can try to find something. I would think either a French General Favorites or a Laundry Basket Favorites, 1 or 2. One of those would work. Have I ever thought of hosting a retreat with Lori? Yes, but if we did something like that, basically, I'm not a great party planner. If I can just show up and somebody writes me a check and I just have to show up and talk, I'm all for that. But like anything else, it's too much. Like I don't want to have to like go to a hotel, figure out where to have it, all that. That's all just not really in my wheelhouse. It was funny because a lot of Emma's friends are graduating high school. So she was like, oh my gosh, Mom, in 3 years, we're going to have a graduation party and it's going to be so awesome. You're like the best at throwing parties. And I was like, she is crazy. I don't know if she's met me, but I've never thrown a party. And I'm thinking, what does she think we're going to do? Because she has high expectations of her graduation party that I don't even know what she's thinking. But it was cracking me up. Will there be a bed tutorial on how to make the quilt bag? Maybe a bag tutorial. The whip bag, that is already a video. I would like to see how to color a block quilt and electric quilt. So I think they have some videos on their channel. Donna says, first live stream I've watched live, but shh, no one can tell because I'm at work. I just can't get enough of Fat Quarter Shop. Thank you. Is there a Christmas Morning 2 collection? Okay, I can tell you that there is something coming that is very similar and will coordinate. You will not see it until December. It will not be shipping until May of 2023 or June of 2023. How is Piggy? He is cute. And what size triangle paper would you use for Simply Swoon? So I'm going to look. Piggy's good. He got his teeth cleaned this week. Okay. For for Simply Swoon? I don't know. Why don't you email nova@fatquartershop.com and she'll have to look. Because I don't know off the top of my head. That's. What is the brand and size of my cutting mat that is on the set? Okay, right now this is a wallpaper, but what we usually have and what I use at home are the Creative Grids mats. I love the Moda Maker buckets. Will there be more colors? I don't know. And those, I thought those were going to be something that were kept in stock a long time, but after the first shipment, I wasn't able to reorder those. So for now, I don't have any more. If you were able to find them, you'd probably have to find them at another store that hasn't sold out of them, but I don't know if they're making more. Nana Sharon says that she loves spending Friday mornings with you. For Lori Holt's B Basics, will that remain a standard basic? Yes, for now it is standard basic. How often are Fat Quarter Clubs delivered? Once a month. If I subscribe to the Sew Sampler box now, will there be a way to get the block patterns from the previous months? Yes, they're already for sale. You can just search Bliss Quilt pattern. And if you want the June box, I think I forgot to say this. If you want, so for those 2 boxes, Liberty box, 5% left. If you want one, buy it now or it's going to be gone. If you want the June Sew Sampler box, that's the regular Sew Sampler, you actually have to order it by Sunday. If you order it Monday, it won't be available, if that makes sense. I forgot to say that. How would I attach handles to the project bags? Okay, someone throw me a project bag and I'll show you. I'm not a bag person, so I'm not great at this, but what you could do is put your binding on and then put your handle like here and then just top stitch it on the back and you'll just see the top stitch right here. So I've wanted to ask this question for years. You're an accountant and you started Fat Quarter Shop. Did I ever consider a career in police work or crime scene investigation? Okay. No, I was always going to be an accountant because there's a funny story. Everyone in my family, both sides, the only people who have degrees in my family, there's 4 of us, we all have the same exact degree from the same exact college. No one else in our family has degrees, and it's very interesting that we are the only ones with those degrees. So I kind of just followed the line of progression, like the people before me. True crime, I wasn't really as interested in it. Now, let's just say, like, I could do anything I wanted in the world right now, I would love to be like a private investigator or like look at DNA or all that stuff. That wasn't really a thing when I was in college, but I'm super interested in it. I did do a ride-along one time with the Chief of Police of Austin. I would totally do it again. I love all that stuff. It's morbid. It bothers Kevin. Like, it's one thing that really bothers him about me. He's just like, he does not understand it. He comes in the bedroom and he's like, this is ridiculous. But we watch 2 different TVs, which is probably bad, but he watches golf. I watch true crime. When I determine yardage for backings, do I include 4 inches longer around the side? Okay, when I'm figuring out backing, I do 5 inches around all sides, which ends up 10 inches. But if your quilter can do 8 inches, you can do that. Just in case you missed my question, how do you get Lori Holt stand to stand without propping something behind it? There's a little thing behind it that you pull and it pulls out and it stands. So it comes with a stand. Which starch do I recommend? So this is the starch that I use right now. And I did see that June Taylor has a starch called Starch Savvy, and I'm going to try that too, but this is what I use right now. There is a Bliss quilt kit. There is a backing set. Now that is a fabric kit only, so the patterns do not come with it. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope all of you dads out there have a wonderful Father's Day. And speaking of that, I need to make reservations to figure out where Kevin's going to eat for Father's Day since I don't cook. So I better do that today. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys soon.